Hi guys, I hope everybody's keeping well. Today's vlog, first of all, thanks for all you subscribers who've subscribed to my channel, and if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. It means a lot to me. Thanks very much. I thought it would get easier to make YouTube videos the more subscribers you got, because I thought, well, I need to sort of test out the water, see if anybody's interested in watching me or not, and seemingly people are interested in watching me, and it's not made it easier, it's made it harder, if anything, for me. Earlier on during the start of this season, I had a cull of my customers. I don't want to delve into it because I could make another video on customers which are a nightmare, or customers to get rid of, but I got rid of a lady who was a clock watcher, and I got rid of a lady that was constantly wanting me to do weeding, and I took her on for mow, blow and goes. Also got rid of somebody who had, I collected 50 piles of dog poo at one. That was the pinnacle one, and I decided to get shot of him. Whilst on the one hand it was good for my mental health to get rid of these customers that wanted me to crawl around on the ground where rats are and foxes doo-doo is, and there are three large dogs and pooing everywhere and cats pooing everywhere. Basically, I got rid of all the customers that I didn't want. But my point to you is, if you do that, be ready to replace that money. That's what I'll say. And some people, it might not be a lot of money a month, but to me, even £500, if it was a bad month and I'd lost £500 from the people, say, that I got rid of on a bad month, it's still a lot of money to replace. So just trying to give you an update of where my business is at. Right, so because of the cull that I had, I've got availability, but normally I said to my customers, and this is the truth, I don't normally advertise. Where are we now? August. I never advertise in, well, not August, we're in July, but it will be. I'm thinking ahead. It'll be August soon, very soon, and I'm thinking a lot of people generally go on holiday then, so I don't tend to advertise anyway, but I am advertising because I've got availability. So I opted to use my preferred choice of advertising, which is the local magazines. There's 3, 4, maybe even 5. There's loads of them. The trouble is, when you go in there, all the magazines then contact you and try to get money from you because they think, oh, you're spending money. But yeah, that's the way I always do it. That's the way I always get my work. And obviously the obvious ones, Facebook and things like that. But I don't tend to have a lot of luck with them. It's tend to be small jobs and friends and family and stuff, which doesn't normally help. Anyway, so that's where I'm advertising. So point of this video, the thumbnail for this video, get into it. So I must stop saying so. It should have really been assigned to me, actually, that there's, in these magazines, there's not many people advertising. But moving on to the point of the video, a lovely elderly gentleman, retired elderly gentleman, had a lovely chat with him. He rang up for garden services, wanted full garden maintenance. He lives in a countryside area, Holt, near me, and I thought, great, it's on the way to my father's and that, so I could make it. It was ticking all the boxes for me, so I said, yeah, I'll come out and have a look at your job for you. So I found him nice and easy. He's nice and local, so I really thought it was going to be a great job for me. So we spoke. I handed him my card. I said who I was. Now, I used to work for an estate for nearly 20 years. Not blow your own trumpet, but you let them know that they're dealing with somebody who's a professional, who's got public liability insurance and spraying license, chainsaw license, qualified, all that jazz. Anyway, everything was great. And then I said to him, we got on to money. And we all know when we get to money, as I've seen in loads of your vlogs, this profit it's not a dirty word. But anyway, I said to him, chaps, next day camera died. Problem with the SD card, it was full or whatever. So sorted that out last night. It's Friday now. So yeah, sorry about that. So next day, had a shave, had a good clean up. It's a rainy day. I've got rained off. You can see, oh, they are on the windows, all wet. Stopped raining, has stopped raining now, but I was supposed to be crawling around hand weeding, so I moved it till Monday and again on Friday. Oh, so yeah, where did I get to? I was just going to tell him how I was doing the pricing. Right, so I foolishly mentioned that I was charging by the hour, which is probably where it went wrong. But anyway, I said to him, I've been doing lawn mowing for £60 for 2 hours, And the problem now at the moment is I've been doing that 2-hour lawn cut in an hour. So the hour that's left, they've been like going, oh, you've still got an hour to do. I'll get you to do this bush, and this hedge, which means that I'm doing the £60 lawn cut, which probably should have been £75 if I'm honest, because they're big jobs. And then a shrub that could have been 20 quid and a hedge that could have been, I know, another 30, so another 50 quid. Basically, it's a half price job. The £60 job's turning into what I would have quoted for 150. But anyway, I said to him, look, I'm going to give you a price. I'm going to go away, go home, come back, give you a price. And it'll be a monthly price or a weekly price. Well, it's a monthly price, but you can divide it down and work it out. You know what I'm saying anyway. So, I said to him, obviously I've got a price in my head what I'm going to charge you. So I said, that's usually around £30 an hour. But obviously I'm not going to give you an hourly price. So he listened to everything, and it was all good. It was all super duper. And I thought, this is great. And he goes, right. He said, yeah, he said, right, I'll tell you where I'm at. He said, I'm a pensioner. He said, like £1 million house, big garden. He goes, I'm a pensioner. He said, I can only afford £20 an hour. He said, so what I'm going to do, he said, what I can offer you, he said, what I can offer you, he said, if you want to accept it, he said, is I can offer you four hours a week all year round, whatever that meant, for £20 an hour. Well, so that was it. So that was the offer. £20 an hour was the offer. Whether it was all year round or not, that's the carrot and the stick. He was saying it's all year round, but if you look at the garden, the speed that I go, it doesn't matter what I'm getting paid. I just go the same speed. It would have all been up together by, like, I don't know, November or whatever, or the end of the season. So then he wouldn't have had me, or I wouldn't have come because it was wet or snowing or whatever. So he wouldn't have probably had me back until March. So I've been doing it for 33 years, and you can smell lies a mile away. So anyway, but it's irrelevant. But that's what he said, and my heart sunk, because obviously I'd paid for the advert to go in the magazine. I'd taken the phone call. I've made myself all presentable, and the van's all presentable, and all the kit's there, and I've turned up when I said I would, at the right time, at the right place. And then he just goes, yeah, £20 an hour. Well, there you go. So I felt like saying, you do know it's 2023 now, but I didn't. I just said, well, so I said to him, the last thing I said, which is what I usually say to people, is, well, best of luck finding someone, lovely to meet you. He goes, no. He said, I've got somebody. He said, I've got someone doing it. He said, but they're not, he said, I'm not happy with them. Anyway, so that's this week, but this is a typical, this I would say is typical. I've had any amount of people phoning me up, not wanting to pay more than £20. And obviously, I know why, because I've met loads of gardeners out there that are charging £15 an hour. But I say gardeners, and I'm not, shooting them down, but they're not like me. It's not me that, they're not qualified. They don't know all their plant names, which I'm fine with them carrying on doing it. But the trouble is, when you're a professional and you go there, if they've been served at £10-15 an hour, they're not going to pay £30 an hour or £75 a visit. Anyway, that's my rant. So I've stuck my oar in, but so I felt a bit bad when I drove off. I was thinking, I've just walked away from 80 quid a week. But again, if I'd done it for 80 quid for 4 hours for £20 an hour, I would have delivered, because I know me, I would have delivered between £150 worth of service would have been delivered to £200 if it was hedging. You've got a van load of kit. It's a lot of money's worth of stuff. It's all got to be serviced and looked after. I know some of my stuff's old now, but it's still probably costing me more, that it's the fact that it's old, than if I'd gone out and bought new stuff. But anyway, I hope this made sense, what I've been saying. So I don't think it would have mattered how I'd sold it to this guy. He'd already knew his spiel, what he was going to say to me. He already knew that he was worked out that he was prepared to pay £20 an hour for 4 hours a week all year round. So I don't think whatever I said, but I've got to stop sort of moaning about other people when I go and quote, because it's obviously not the way to get somebody on your side. But and the trouble is, I'm a gardener, and I'd like to think I'm a very good gardener, but I'm not a salesman. And I think to be successful in this business, you need to be both. You need to be a, a businessman, a salesman, and a gardener, all rolled into one. And obviously, I'm too kind-hearted. I've been following the Tattoo Gardener's channel, and I love his content. And also, I don't know if it was through him or if I come across him, Rob Maxwell's. His is probably one of the best I've seen, and he's easy. He's very easy to watch, and almost addictive. But he knows his stuff, and he doesn't take any nonsense. Which is my trouble. I tend to be a pushover when it comes to pricing, and please don't think there's, I will, and I do. Obviously, I do work for less than £30 an hour, because if you work out the travelling, the servicing, the going to B&Q and Screwfix and wherever else, £30 an hour is sort of the figure I've had in mind for billing. But I don't think it's even enough now. I think the idea with Robert Maxwell's grass cutting services, if I'm getting it right, hope I am, is like mow, blow and goes, and that if you can get them, but it's finding them. And I think that's the way I'm going to move next year, is maybe definitely look at more grass cutting, power washing, hedge cutting, but basically anything that I'm really good, anything that I know that I'm really good at pricing, so I don't get the prices wrong. But I think other people probably said this on here, weeding and stuff, I think it's quite hard. Just done a border, and she's got 2 gardeners, which I'm pleased about, because there's lots of weeding to do. And I've done, I don't know, 2 hours, 3 hours of weeding, and I'm probably a third of the way. So with what I'm charging my rate, it's going to work out what I would have said, like 250 or something for price job. So I'm not far out on it, which is good. But yeah, finding the right customers is the key. And unfortunately, I tend to go to everyone, so I don't know whether I'm going to have to be a bit more filtering on the phone calls to save me a lot of legwork running around in the van. Might be a good idea. Any suggestions on finding work down below? I know a lot of people said take on some commercial work, but I sometimes feel like I'm too small a business. When I do advertise for commercial in my area, I seem to get enormous jobs, and when they're looking for a commercial guy, because they say, can Steve and a member of his team, or can you send a team round? The team word comes up a lot, and I think, oh, it's just me, and I'm probably going to be shattered most of the time. Most of the time I am shattered because I'm on my own, so I don't know if commercial's the route for me to go down. And on commercial, a lot of people talking about commercial contracts, getting commercial contracts. My experience is, like, I've done blocks of flats, and I've had nothing but a nightmare with them getting paid. In gated properties, I've had nothing but a nightmare if it's commercial gated. And payment on commercial, obviously you have to give, I think, a minimum of like a month or whatever it is, 30 days. And like other people said, you have to jump through hoops to get them. I know they send out a questionnaire, so I don't think I want to go that way. Yeah, so, but next year, yeah, I think keep it simple. Like Robert Maxwell said, the mow, blows and goes, I think that's the sort of format, smaller jobs that you can price and price profit into them, and definitely not the hourly. Unless perhaps it's weeding and I think when you're really unsure of how long something's going to take, it might be a good way of doing it on the hourly. But I don't know if that was helpful to anyone. I hope it was. It gets a bit off of my chest, but I am having a lot of bad luck finding the right customer. So hopefully the right customers just around the corner for me. At the moment, I'm just ticking over nicely, but I could do with a bit more. Couldn't we all? Anyway, thanks for watching.